Good morning. Welcome to Shadow Place Cafe. Summer. Long time no see.
Morning, Jessica. Haven't seen you for a long time. How's school going? Wait a second, Jesse. Aren't you supposed to be in your senior year and busy with job hunting? What are you doing here?
I quit school to help my parents out with taking care of Shadow Place. Do you remember Liddy, our store manager as well as my parents' most trusted friend for 30 years? She was fired a few weeks ago.
She's gone. What happened?
We had to let her go because she was stealing money from the business all these years. My parents were so heartbroken.
I can relate to their feelings. Your parents treated Liddy like family.
True. My parents always told me the story about how the three of them built Shadow Place together. My parents thought they had very little business experience, so they hired their best friend to manage the front end of the store. They figured Liddy could use her expertise in accounting to handle all of the cashiering, accounting, and financial end of the business.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Despite seeing consistently good customer numbers, my parents couldn't understand why business was still struggling years after its opening. They had become suspicious a few months in and turned to me for help. I began to review Lydia's financial statements. I did surprise cash counts a couple times. I had looked at different things on the financial end. Never did it cross our mind that she could rob my parents.
According to my professor, Dr. Liu, in accounting forensics and investigation class, although thieves come in all shapes and sizes, there are some recurring patterns. The average age of the perpetrator was 47.9 years, and 71 of the perpetrators held positions in finance and accounting.
But why? Why did she do that to my parents?
Let me use the fraud triangle to answer your question. Fraud triangle is the framework for spotting high-risk fraud situations. Dr. Liu said, to commit a fraud, you need to be a pro. PRO. P is pressure, usually financial and greed issues. R means rationalization, the mentality of others have it and why not me. O means opportunity. The perpetrator knows she is too smart and will not get caught.
Liddy is indeed a pro. She not only put cash into her own pocket, she also falsified a fictitious vendor account to purchase supplies and equipment for the store. She stole coffee beans to sell on eBay for profits. We also found out she forged my parents' signatures and gave herself 2 extra paychecks per month, in addition to her regular pay. But I have to admit there were some red flags. We just ignored it. For example, Liddy never wanted to take vacation and insisted on handling the mail herself alone. My parents also suspect Liddy tried to get our other staff members in trouble a lot and make sure they would not trust anyone but herself.
I'm surprised to hear that your business does not have any check and balance in place. To protect against staff embezzlement, you need to segregate duties within the finance function. Separation of duties is the key aspect of internal controls.
Separation of duties. How does it work?
Simply put, no one person should be responsible for an entire financial transaction from start to finish. For example, the person responsible for collecting payments should not be involved in dispersing or depositing payments. This way, a single individual would face difficulty performing embezzlement alone.
It's impossible. Shadow Place is a small cafe and we are always short of staff.
No worries. In the case, you will need to implement some compensating controls to ensure appropriate checks and balances exist to minimize the risk of fraud.
Compensating controls.
Yes. Compensating controls means to increase management oversight, such as review reports of detailed transactions, take periodic cash and equipment inventory counts. You should also periodically hand deliver payroll checks to ensure no ghost staff exists. Most of all, you should review reconciliations of account balances or perform them yourself. These are only a few examples to compensate staff shortage. I suggest you explore the issue further and figure out the best way to apply it to your business.
I surely will. listener. Thank you very much for the valuable information. I'm so glad I talked to you today. You know, I also heard that there will be a series of presentation sessions starting this evening in our community center. The sessions will cover topics like general overview of internal controls, cash and cash negotiables, inventories, and separation of duties. Each session will be presented by subject matter experts in internal controls from County of Los Angeles. I will definitely check them all out and show you what I learned.
Way to go, girl.